I'm gonna try this one more time. I got this cat in here and it tried to turn the video off the first time. No, I did better than try. It did it. It got the video off. But this is a book I'm gonna be reading for Sunny D. Sunny D, this is for you. For any other little kid wants to listen, it's for you too. If you're a grown up and want to listen, it's for you too. The book is called Love You Forever. It was written by a man named Robert. I bet they called him Bob. But Bob wrote a book, and it was about his mama. But I ain't going to read it about the mama. I'm going to change some of the characters because, Sonny D, this is for you. And you're my son's son. You're my grandson. So we're going to do this just a little different. A father held his new baby, and very slowly he rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while he held him, he sang, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." Now, you know, that love that just doesn't have anything we have to do with it, Sonny. You got it now, and one day you're going to want it more. And that's a hard thing to find in this world. The baby grew. He grew, and he grew. He grew until he was 2 years old, and he ran all around the house, and he pulled all the books off the shelves, and he pulled all the food out of the refrigerator. Your dad used to take all the food out of the refrigerator and eat it. And he took his father's watch and he flushed it down the toilet. Your dad did that with Hot Wheels, not with a watch. I think Toffee's wanting to be a part of this recording, but she's probably going to shut us off here in a minute. Sometimes his father would say, "This kid is driving me crazy." Yep. Sometimes you would say that as a parent. You didn't give us an instruction manual with your daddy, and you didn't get one with you either. You just came out, and there you was, having to figure out what we had to do. But at nighttime, when the 2-year-old was quiet, he opened the door to his room, crawled across the floor, looked up over the side of his bed, and if he was really asleep, he picked him up and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while he rocked, he sang, "I love you forever. I like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." I call your daddy my buddy most of the time, but he's still a baby to me. It's okay. Works the same, and you're his baby. You're his buddy. The little boy grew. He grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was 9 years old. And he never wanted to come in for dinner. That wasn't your daddy. He always liked dinner. And he never wanted to take a bath. Your daddy took baths. It wasn't him. And when Grandma visited, he always said bad words. Not really, not your daddy. Sometimes his father wanted to sell him to the zoo. Never. I loved my son all the time. Never wanted him in a zoo. Always wanted him with me. Yeah, so that part wasn't really how it happened with us. But at nighttime, when he was asleep, the father would quietly open his door, crawl across the floor, and look up over the side of the bed. And if he was really asleep, he picked up that 9-year-old boy and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while he rocked him, he sang, "I love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." He's going to be my buddy. Yeah, Toph, you turning the page, girl. Silly Toph. You can't read the book. Then the boy grew. He grew, and he grew. He grew until he was a teenager, and he had strange friends, and he wore strange clothes, and he listened to strange music. All true. All true. Sometimes his father felt like he was in a zoo. Definitely. Fully true. Definitely felt like sometimes I was in a zoo with crazy creatures that do things for no apparent reason other than they're zoo creatures. But at night time, when that teenager was asleep, the father would open the room door, crawl across the floor, look up over the side of the bed, and if he really was asleep, he picked up that great big boy and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. While he rocked him, he sang, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I am living, my baby you will be." Yeah, it's always going to be my little boy. Always. That's your daddy. Your daddy's always going to be my little boy. That teenager grew. He grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was a grown-up man. He left home and he got a house across town. Your daddy got a house in another town. But sometimes on dark nights, the father got into his car and drove to his daddy's house in a different town, not across town. Different town. You live in a different town, Sonny. If all the lights in his son's house were out, he opened the bedroom window, crawled across the floor, looked up over the side of... Bad idea. Don't do any of this into a house that's not yours. No, that's how people get shot. That's not okay. Don't do that. You should knock on the door, wake him up, and then wait for him to fall asleep again. But anyway, if that great big man was really asleep, he picked him up and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while he rocked him, he sang, "I love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my buddy you'll be." Yep. Well, the father, he got older. He got older and older and older. One day he called up his son and said, "You better come and see me because I'm very old and sick." So his son came to see him. When he came to the door, he tried to sing a song to his boy, saying, "I love you forever. I like you for always." But he couldn't finish because he was too old and sick. The son went to his father. He picked him up and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And he sang this song, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my daddy you'll be." When the son came home that night, he stood for a long time at the top of his stairs. You guys got a lot of stairs. Imagine your daddy standing at the top of the stairs. Then he went into the room where his very new baby son was sleeping, and he picked him up in his arms and very slowly rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while he rocked him, he sang, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." Sonny D, you're that little baby. And your daddy's my baby. And he'll be my buddy forever. And you'll be his buddy forever. And he'll love you forever. And he'll like you for always, and I'll love him forever and like him for always. And just remember, in this world when you feel like no one else loves you, your daddy's always going to love you. And your granddaddy's always going to love him. But we got a daddy in heaven that loves us more than we could ever love each other. So even if we have to go because we get old and sick, God's still going to love you through it all. Love you, Sunny D. Hope you have a great night. Anybody else that wanted to watch this, love you too. I just had to do something for Sunny D. All right. Love you. Bye.